I noticed I was feeling lack of energy, weight loss. I noticed I was pulling my belt a little tighter. I used to get chills and fevers, and I never used to know when they were coming. And when I say chills and fevers, chills about when my body was shaking tremendously, uncontrollably, quite frankly.
He had to quit his job. He was losing weight. It was just hard to watch.
He had a disease called sclerosing cholangitis. Basically, that's a situation where the bile ducts, basically the plumbing system of the liver, doesn't drain the way it needs to. The only thing that would get him better would be to replace his liver with a brand new liver.
Didn't paint a very rosy picture. Said it would be years before I get it. At that time, I would probably continue to lose weight, energy, possibly become bedridden, and
it could be anywhere from 8 to 10 years if it was to happen, and in the meantime he would get rather sick.
If at that time, at the end, they could get me a liver, great. If not, there was no guarantees what would happen. He explained that the liver is the only organ in the body that regenerates. And then Susan sort of perked up a little bit and said, you know, what's that all about? And he said, well, if we can find a match for Dennis and someone was willing to donate a partial liver, which is all he needs, maybe that could work out.
When she heard about living donation as a potential option, I kind of slowed her down and said, let's do the process step by step.
Well, I was hoping I could, would be the live donor. You have to go through a battery of tests. I was a smoker. You had to be smoke-free for at least 6 weeks before the operation. They wouldn't even speak to you unless you were.
They need to be compatible in terms of blood type, and they need to have anatomy of the liver size and other structures in the liver that permit us to remove half the liver safely and still have enough liver left for the donor so that they can recover.
Then it was really up to Susan to go through test by test by test, and it's a long process. It took most of last summer into the fall. They called Susan about 9:30 on a Tuesday morning, and Susan called me and said, it's a go. And, obviously I jumped 10 feet into the air, and, for me it was a life-saving situation.
Oh, I was nervous. I do remember sitting on the hospital bed and saying, okay, God, it's in your hands.
She had never been through an operation at all, so she was nervous. And if you're not nervous and scared, there's something wrong. I mean, it's a big-time operation.
Both operations are very demanding from a surgical perspective. So we always have 2 operating room teams going on at the same time with 2 attending-level liver transplant surgeons in both the donor room and in the recipient room, as well as 2 attending anesthesiologists and 2 full operative nursing teams. So you're talking about a lot of people involved in making this all work.
And the whole thought of them removing a major organ, taking half or 60% of hers into me, the whole thing is a little mind-boggling.
As soon as Dennis woke up, he was asking about Susan and how she was doing. As soon as Susan woke up and I had a chance to see her, she was asking about Dennis, so it really showed the incredible bond between both of them. And she comes to his office visits, he comes to her office visits, and so it's a really, really touching story, no question.
I'm getting stronger and better every day. I don't know where I'd be today. Maybe I'd be home in bed if it wasn't for Susan. When someone goes out of their way to basically save your life, emotionally, how do you thank them?
My quality of life has definitely gotten better. Just knowing, number 1, I've quit smoking. Number 2, I've helped my brother. It's something to be very thankful for. You always do something for a sibling.